Hey guys, Josh here. So I'm excited to have teamed up with Submission Audio in releasing their newest bass VST plugin in collaboration with one of my favorite bass players slash audio engineer slash tone guru, um, Simon Grove. They worked on a plugin that pretty much gets you Simon Grove in a box. His bass playing. I wish they could also figure out how to somehow make his audio engineer in a box. That would be amazing. just a plugin that mixes all your stuff for you. That sounds like Simon Grove. That'd be amazing. Anyways, so you heard some tone examples in the intro clip. Those were all mixed by Simon Grove, so that might have been cheating a little bit, but they were still using the some presets that were built into the plugin, and I thought it could be cool to maybe go through some of those presets, maybe like a general overview of the plugin. I'm probably not going to go too in-depth with the settings and all that because I'm a very simple person, so the way I use these plugins is I try to keep them as simple as possible and do everything tone-wise in the plugin, right? If you wanted to, you can use a DI signal with this plugin and then add your own post-processing, which is like effects, compression, EQ, all that stuff. But I like to use everything built in to keep my my sessions just as simple as possible. And I don't tend to want to mix my own stuff. So this mainly for me is for demos. And then, I mean, this plugin sounds great, so you could definitely use this in a final mix. But I like to use all the effects built into it, I guess. So this is the main interface that you'll see when you open this plugin. You get to see a model of Simon's amazing bass. And then fretboard, which is interactive. You have the mixer, which we'll get into, and then you have these 5 options for processing. And then the bottom, there's some more settings with like humanize and position, which we will get into. So the first kind of processing is no processing, right? So you have this DI signal, which if I play the track, sounds like a DI, but I mean, it sounds like Simon playing a DI, so it sounds amazing, right? It still sounds good. So this would be pretty easy to add some maybe Neural DSP plugin on top of, and it would sound pretty much where you would want it to sound. I'm not someone to really use this because, like I said before, I don't want to do any processing. I want to do it all in the plugin because I don't know, I like to keep this all as simple as possible, right? So the first tone is clean. So this is the one that I was using at the beginning of this clip. And it sounds amazing. You get that signature Simon attack, which is like, there's like this brightness to the attack, which I love the sound of, especially when you have a bass and a kick drum hit at the same time. It's just this crazy punchy thing that cuts through the mix, and it's just, I love it. So if we go into the mixer here, you can see there's not many options, which I like. That's kind of my whole thing, but there are some options you can change. So you have this bright switch, which really emphasizes that attack that I love. So I pretty much would keep this on all the time. And then so not all these options are available with all the different processing. So on the clean option, you only have tone, compression, and girth. So I guess girth is like it's just like a EQ curve kind of thing. So, and then you have compression, and then tone is turned off right now, but you could turn on if you'd like. It's just some EQ. Yeah, again, it's very simple, so this is like perfect for me. The next option is Overdrive. So you get that distortion, which would sound just amazing layered with a guitar. And then as you can see, when I click Overdrive, it opens up the new option for drive. So you can adjust how much or how little drive you would like. And then let's hear that with and without the bright switch. So here's with, and then without. So you lose that bright attack thing that I love. So like I said before, that's pretty much stays on for me no matter what. And then the next processing option is distortion. So this is what I used towards the end of the clip. So this is more of like a djenty thing. I mean, the MIDI wasn't, but this you could definitely get that more djenty tone, which is another thing I love about this plugin is really how versatile it is. So if I go back to the clean, you could definitely use that in a ton of different contexts, like fusion and stuff that's maybe not so djent and metal, which, I mean, in my opinion, you couldn't really do with the Gin bass, which is Submission Audio's previous bass VST. But this one has, I think, enough tonal variation to where you can use it for stuff outside of metal. So back to the distortion. I mean, this layered with an 8-string, which is what I did in the track. It's the sound, right? It's that Simon Grove, Pliny kind of thing. It's awesome. And it adds a ton of bottom, low mids to your guitars, right? So what you would do is you would layer this, double track some guitars, right? Take out all the low end from the guitars and then throw this plugin in there, and then you just get this huge, amazing double tracked 8-string tone. And then the last processing option is lead. So this one has this effects option open up. I haven't had too much time messing with this one, but if you're into bass solos, it could be cool. Or maybe like a really ambient section. Maybe I turn off this bright. And then it also has the mid-cut option open up. So that's the basic processing options. I love how simple it is and how it just all sounds great, like without me having to do anything, which is my dream plugin. Right? I just want things to sound good without me having to do anything. That's the goal, right? The other options we have at the bottom here are humanize and position. So right now I have it set to machine because for me with my demos and stuff, I tend to want everything exactly to a grid unless it's an actual instrument that I tracked. So I have all my drum MIDI and bass and synths and all that exactly to the grid, and then my guitar can kind of add feeling or whatever. The human aspect, right? So I'll tend to keep this on machine, but if you want to, you can change it to there's human and then bassist, and then the other option is position. So this is interesting. If you look at the fretboard, you can see it's like cutting off lower frets. And this pretty much forces the plugin to choose a different area of the neck for where to hit notes, right? Because on a bass or on a guitar, there's a bunch of places to hit the same note, and they all sound different, right? So this kind of lets you have a quick way to change where that note is being hit on the neck. So here I'll show you what that does. So you can see right now it's hitting a bunch of notes right on the lower end of the neck, and if I turn this up, it moved it to here, and you can hear how it sounds different even though it's playing the same notes. Since you're playing lower strings when I move the position up, it sounds darker. It sounds less, you have less of that bright attack. So it's really kind of, you can mess with this to figure out exactly how you want it to sound. There is an option also in this plugin to force the plugin to play certain strings. I haven't messed around too much with this, but I'm sure people who are very advanced in MIDI programming, I guess you would call it, in writing MIDI, would be able to use this to get the exact sound that you would like. And then you can see there's also a bunch of different bass sounds that you can choose from. There's also tuning that you can change the tunings to get different open string sounds. And yeah, that's pretty much how I use the plugin. That gives you a general idea of the kind of tones you can get with it pretty easily. Thanks for watching, and peace out.